Hey, what's good, boys? I just want to hop on here, run through price action a little bit, look at this price action diagram that I created. I think this shit is sweet. We can definitely look at what price did today, analyze some opportunity, get some really valuable stuff from the day, right? So I think our big lessons of the day were pretty much, I think they're pretty simple, bro. Check this out, right? Let's walk through ES price action. So on the bigger time frame, let's go to the MES just because it's unmarked, right? Bigger time frame, here's what we're looking at going to open. Always start with our biggest time frame analysis, simple stuff we know, right? I want to watch the story of price, right? Because last night we pretty much had no clue what price was going to do, and given it's a Sunday, we don't have information, everything's sweet, right? But we want to be seeing like what new information do we have. I think this is a pretty valuable lesson. So yesterday we're looking at this, right? Market opens and we gap down, right? We immediately start filling that gap, but at this point we don't know, right? We don't know kind of what's happening. Like we can maybe draw some lines, say like, hey, we have buy side above, it looks okay. We just came down, swept this buy side, we just pulled back into this fair value gap here, into this inverse, all that good stuff, right? But looking at this, we're unsure of whether or not our direction could be maybe to push lower. We want to see what's happening. So when we open the market and we see that new week opening gap get inversed, that gives me a lot of conviction towards a long bias to now go ahead and take these highs on open, right? So another thing that I'm watching, which a lot of people aren't watching surprisingly, is where midnight open gets generated. If I can see just simply through my understanding of price, right? That midnight open is generated at a point that could have potentially been resistance, but now it's support. Like for example, our new week open gap could have been resistance to the downside, but now we run through it and we confidently generate our midnight open right at that point, showing us that now we can bounce off this point. That's super advantageous for me because now it's showing me market is putting bearish points or putting bullish points where before there were bearish points, right? So watching the story of price, pretty much we play around, come back, bounce off midnight open and go, right? So now opening the market at 9:30, this is pretty much what we're looking at, right? We're looking at the market right here. So we really don't have a lot of room to now trade to this perfect, pretty much like butter smooth draw, right? All these generated highs, no objection to price. This should be low resistance liquidity around the second we get past this high, and it was, right? So if you ended up taking some type of pre-market opportunity, don't think it's bad. I think it's pretty clean if you can get involved in like a fair value gap here tight stop. Who knows, right? But this is what I'm watching going into open, right? Open pretty much does this. Let's check out the diagram now. Open is manipulating lower super, super, super shallowly. And we don't need to make a large manipulation because we're so close to already taking that high that we don't really need to, go much lower, right? Now we're in low resistance liquidity run, right? Now this should be just fast up to the high fast, right? So what ends up happening is we manipulate lower, hold an order block, SMT, push higher, nothing. No way to get involved in between where we were and where our draw was. So now at that point, I have to figure out what is the next draw on liquidity, right? And a lot of times there will not be another obvious draw on liquidity. And because of that, we can say that our previous draw on liquidity was the objection of price for, or was the objective of price for the day. So looking at that, that tells me, where's our objective for today's price action? Our objective for today is right here, right? At this point, the second that we take this, we take our objective of the day. And why is it our objective? Because if we look a little bit higher in the bigger time frame, what can we do past taking this point, right? Maybe we can get above, but we still have to, get pretty high to be able to start running through some of these highs up here. So because of that, I can say this is the closest high that makes sense within reason for us to take today. And then after this, I need a lot more information from price generating candles to be able to determine any type of trade opportunity. So once our daily objective is taken, we can expect lower probability movements until the end of the day, right? So I'm only trading until 11:10. So let's analyze this piece of price action from 11:10 till open, right? So pretty much right here, what ends up happening? Price runs higher. It starts chopping the second that we get above that objective point. And then from there, we place in slow chop down to take an SMT, and then we kind of rocket higher. This is where I marked potential seconds longs because we had two SMTs. If you went in the 15, even 5 second, if you're like that, you could definitely have caught some type of nice market order trading higher and then kind of cashing out somewhere up here with the standard deviation level. Whatever it is you like to do, definitely some type of opportunity there. The second opportunity, right, which like I said, past 1050, if there's no movement at 1050, like if I saw 1050 do something like this, right, keep in mind that when we have a choppy AM session, a lot of the time 1050 will be like the paintbrush that comes and clears all of its messy tracks. So if 1050 can provide me with a clean move, I wouldn't mind trading it, right? But on a day like this where 1050 does nothing, I'm off the charts, bro. So let's look, what could 1050 have done, right? So what does it actually do? 1050 opens right on here. We manipulate higher, don't even, I think we maybe make an SMT here. Then we just slowly chop lower till like around 1120. No opportunities there, guys. None at all, right? If 1050 did something like this, where we open here, keep that high generated, push lower, SMT right here, and then we run something like this with volatility and actual displacement and market direction, all this good stuff, right? That's something that doesn't even look bad for me to take, in my opinion, right? So that's what I would have needed to see and able to take a trade. If I don't see that, I'm sitting off the charts because, bro, understand, trading is not a game of figuring out what the market's doing. Trading is a game of letting the market show you. And a lot of times the market won't show you. And when it doesn't show you, it's giving you a free pass to not have to work. Like, bro, you guys are so obsessed with taking trades and making sure we can make that money and making sure we can get our work in because we want to be traders, all this good stuff, right? That motivation is backfiring on you at points like this where we're taking trades that aren't there because the market's showing us it doesn't want to go. It's showing us this isn't the opportunity, but we're still taking it because we want to trade, bro. Get that through our heads that even when the market's showing us it's not time to trade, do not trade, bro. Just trust it and listen to it. And that's what successful traders do. And that's why they make bank, right? So this second opportunity I have marked out here was pretty much the only like even viable, if you want to call it that, type of trade here on ES. The way that I would have traded this, right, and the whole consensus behind this is that I want to see some type of low get souped at some point that's advantageous within a range, right? So even though this isn't the best range right here, because it's kind of just choppy and it's not really the best, we are around OTE in this range, so that's not too bad, right? Right around 0.705. We soup that low, make an SMT, and we get a strong reaction from there that's in favor of the bias, right? That's what I like. So once I get that strong reaction, you could have traded this either with some type of inverse. There was pretty much like nothing really. There's no 3-minute or anything here. I probably would have done this, right? I probably would have waited until we have this second candle higher and then probably deciding not to trade this. SMT gets placed in. I'm obviously not going to trade this, but if I had to, I think the best way to do this would be to get involved on this turtle soup, right? After we watch all of this accumulation happen right here, we just need to wait for that small manipulation lower, and that sting is all that I want to see before price carries me, right? So a way that I could trade this would be right here, and then I just set a very tight stop loss like this, and then maybe even tighter, probably something like this, bro. And then I see if we can, catch this move. Second, we get above a tiny bit, a couple candles above, I'm probably going to move my stop loss to break even. And whether that stops me out right here or it doesn't, whatever it is, that's my trade. The only way I'm trading this, even then, bro, probably something I'm not going to touch, right? So consensus and lessons from today, right? Choppy action, slowly moving higher. We have multiple lower quality scalpy trend setups like I'm showing you guys because we know we're moving higher pretty much. Even though we're not moving there fast and efficiently enough for me to want to take a confident trade, I know we're moving there. You can get involved in some of those scalpy trend opportunities, right? In my opinion, it's not good, bro. Just literally sit out. Use this as a day to like chill out and just like be like, yeah, I'm so good that I don't even need these types of setups because, I'm just like, I have the highest standards and I let the market come to me and just embody that good psychology rather than like embodying, yeah, bro, I take a trade every day and I have a 100% win rate. Like that shit's not real. And that's how you lose bread, bro. So embody the truth and the fact of like, yeah, bro, like this market just too good or too bad for me. Like, this ain't my type of shit. I'm not trading it. Embody that, right? That's the type of day that we're trying to get. No clear textbook high quality setups. Like we said, if we would have seen something down here that actually gives us a nice movement, right? That's the big thing is that there's no movement in this whole area, right? This is the only point that we get movement, and that's why it's somewhat viable, right? But even then, right? This is something that we could have taken right here. This doesn't look too bad. But bro, today's just not a good day. The lesson is that this was expected because we have no news today and tomorrow. Pretty much none. And then Wednesday, we have FOMC. So FOMC, our biggest news event, and we have pretty much no news leading up to that. That's showing me market's pretty much going to be setting up today and tomorrow for FOMC, and then Thursday and Friday have a ton of news right after that. So overall, bro, great day. Today is a lesson of conditions, how conditions work with bigger time frames, with volatility, watching how the second we take that daily objective, our average candle size dies down to like literally like a quarter of what they were before, bro. So use these lessons. Hope they help you in trading. Hope you guys can enjoy the kind of talk that we have, the little charting session. Hop on, check this shit out. Enjoy some of these details that we can figure out from price simply just by observing it and using our detailed level-headed decision making, all that good stuff, buzzwords, yada, yada, yada. And I'll catch you boys later. So peace out. Thank you all for coming. Peace out.